Welcome to the show. We'd like to share some exciting information with you and bring you up to date on a growing challenge facing every place and our society as a whole. Across the United States of America, there are many communities that have some form of community transportation provided for residents. A substantial portion of these community transportation resources comes from the so-called human service transportation. Human service transportation includes a broad range of transportation service options to meet the mobility needs of transportation disadvantaged populations, including older adults, people with disabilities, and persons with lower incomes. The challenge is how to provide quality community transportation at a reasonable cost. We will first discuss the challenge facing us today. We will then walk through the journey of community and human service transportation coordination and illustrate what and how can various ITS technologies provide the much-needed boost along the way. We will conclude by introducing a couple of real-world examples to share institutional experience. As a major investor in local human service and coordinated transportation, the U.S. Government Accountability Office identified that there were over 60 federal programs that fund transportation services. It is estimated by the Community Transportation Association of America that 16 of over the 60 federal programs fund most of the local community transportation services. The United States Department of Health and Human Services Medicaid program alone incurs about $1 billion in transportation expenses annually. In addition to federal spending, there are also many state and locally funded transportation programs available for consumers across the country. In addition to federal investments, state and local governments also spend significant amounts on human service and community transportation programs. These programs are often administered and operated independently by different organizations without coordination. This chart illustrates the complicated web of today's human service transportation. Each program is likely to have different eligibility rules, different destinations, its own reservation system and rules, and unique travel services. It becomes a daunting task for Joe the rider sitting on a bench trying to figure out what services are available to him at a particular time to a particular destination. To address growing concerns over rising costs and to improve service, a presidential executive order was issued in February 2004. The order requires all relevant federal agencies to work together to enhance transportation access, minimize duplication of services, and facilitate the most appropriate, cost-effective human service transportation. So, what can we do to provide better quality of transportation at a lower cost? We need to have three ingredients: collaborating agencies, coordinated transportation services, and last but not least, empowered travelers. And proven intelligent transportation systems, or ITS, applications are enablers to help turn our vision into reality.
To start coordinating transportation services with like partners in a region, how do you get started?
The journey that you will enter into when coordinating transportation has many starting points and no real end. Generally, it involves key activities such as finding like partners with a need to coordinate, the development of a shared vision or mission, developing a sound plan with solutions, identifying true champions, and taking action. The interest to coordinate an organization's transportation resources typically starts with identifying challenges that impede the organization, usually due to internal or external sources, such as the agency's budget and other limiting resource factors. Then there is an instinctive need or interest to seek out other creative means to meet the organization's customer transportation needs, usually through coordination with our community resources. Critical to any cooperative relationship, it is important to seek out like partners that display an open willingness to evaluate and collaborate on the coordination of transportation resources. These organizations must already share a common mobility mission. In developing a coordinated transportation system, it is important to develop a common vision and mission for the service or services to be provided. This will help the coordination work group or steering committee to have clear communication and a shared direction for the duration of the project. The development of a formal plan identifies those participating in the project, issues selected alternatives, resources, an implementation plan, and a budget. This requires buy-in by all members prior to implementation. A good plan thoroughly identifies and evaluates many well-defined solutions to address the issue. Then one or many solutions are mutually agreed upon to be implemented. As a coordination plan is being crafted, identifying champions is critical to any project to ensure its success. It is important to identify those organizations and specific contacts within the agency willing to pull their weight to make sure all the elements of the coordinated plan are addressed. Once a plan has been developed, agreed to, and the appropriate champions have been determined, it is now time to take action and implement the coordinated transportation system. Each agreeing agency must now do their part in making the services a success.
Okay, so now I understand that it's a journey and that it doesn't happen overnight. So what tools are going to be available to help us coordinate our services?
ITS is an enabler to facilitate coordination